So I think part of the market response right now is, wait a minute, back in January and February, my best friend sold, and he sold way above market. He didn't have to fix a damn thing. Well, that's gone. That's gone. You know, that's gone. It may not come back unless they manufacture another pandemic of some sort.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The cameras.
Current situation in the market, I think, for me personally, I think I elaborated on it a little bit last time. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. You know, we're seeing prices drop across the board. Iggy, good friend of mine, you know, we don't talk much, but he talks about it every Friday on his blog, and I read it. Like, it's we have similar ideas on things. Obviously, there's going to be differences from time to time, but as far as how we feel, but the market, it's in the midst of a correction. I would even argue that we're probably in a recession right now, and I mean, I was a lender during the first recession. This shit was terrible. I hated it. There was a company called Taylor Bean and Whitaker that I used to send my loans through, and they closed, I want to say, in August of 2009 at the check. But I remember losing, I think it was like 10 deals that I had with them. And I remember just thinking, like, wow, I'm like finally doing well at this. And then they shut their doors. That was wild. So I lost 10 deals, and then, you know, later on ended up going to college. But as far as the current market is concerned, it seems as though if you have a house priced right, if you have the house priced right, I'm not talking about jacking it up 10-15% just to lower it, you know, like a supermarket or a store will do, to entice people to come in and buy at 60% off or whatever. But I think if you price it right, you know, factoring in a correction, then I think you have a better chance at moving that property. You know, I've heard the numbers of what the inflationary rates were. Is that a word? Inflationary. From, let's say, 2019 through COVID to now, and I think it's something like 25-30%, maybe even 40% in some areas. So people that are smarter than myself are calling for those numbers to start to fall down. So I think if agents are smart and get ahead of the curve, and say, hey, look, you know, you want to list your house at 400. Well, your $400,000 house, it's a piece of dog shit. You're not getting 400,000 anymore. You know, you're not going to have 1 million people walk through your house. They're actually going to critique your house now. And if they do write an offer on your house, they're going to ask for a list of things that you need to fix, which didn't happen over the last 2 years. So I think part of the market response right now is, wait a minute, back in January and February, my best friend sold, and he sold way above market. He didn't have to fix a damn thing. Well, that's gone. That's gone. You know, that's gone. It may not come back unless they manufacture another pandemic of some sort, you know, which wouldn't put it past the shitty folks in charge. But, you know, you're not going to get top dollar for shit that's not worth top dollar. You know, if you just spray paint a turd with gold, it's still a turd. It's still a turd. So, a golden turd, but it's spray painted. So as soon as you pick that bitch up and it falls apart, the gold's gone. Now you're just left with shit. So, but if you price it right, so say that $400,000 house that needs work, that needs updating, you have a ton of deferred maintenance that's been left for years that you haven't done. And I'm talking deferred maintenance is you haven't taken care of your exterior. Say you have dry rot, peeling paint. You have carpets that smell like cats pissed all over it. You know, that's a brief example of some deferred maintenance. You got to take care of shit like that. You know, you need to go around just like you maintain your car, your body, etc. And you have to keep your house up to date too. So you have to pay attention to current trends. So like if everybody wants granite in their house, or was that chopping block, cutting board, whatever it is, whatever the trends are, if you have those types of things, you have a better chance to sell. You know, and I'm sure that there's people that will disagree with me. Fine, I don't care. But if you're at 400,000 and I go in and I'm like, listen, what would you like to list your house for? What do you think it's worth? And you're like, oh, well, I have friends that say they'll pay 450 for my house. All right, great. What do you think your house is worth? Well, I think it's worth 400. Okay. Well, after I run the comps and I run essentially, my idea of what depreciation could be, let's say I say, I think we should list it for, 375. They don't want to do that. They want to list it at 4. Fine, we'll list it at 4. Well, I'm going to put a clause in that contract, and I'm going to have them sign off or agree to, maybe not in the specific contract for the exclusive right to sell, but in another amendment stating that, hey, listen, if we're not getting the amount of showings that we need, or the amount of, all we need is one offer, to be fair. But if we're not getting the amount of showings that we want, the market is telling us your house is too expensive, okay? They're telling us they don't fucking want to pay that price. So we need to make the reduction. So if we're in agreement that you're willing to make the reduction, if we're not seeing this within the first 10 days to 2 weeks, some will probably do it sooner than that. But if we're not seeing that within the first 10 days to 2 weeks, then we're gonna lower it by this increment, whatever we decide, okay? And I think that that's a fair way of going about it if somebody is still stuck on January of this year, when houses were flying off the market. And you're gonna start having conversations with clients where they're gonna say, well, my brother said that he would pay $425 for my house, or it's worth $450 or $470. Look at Zillow, look at this, and everybody thinks your house is so great. Well, what is your friends and family supposed to do? Of course they're going to tell you your house is the greatest thing they've ever seen. They're related to you, they care about you. They're going to pump your shit up, man. But are they going to buy your house? And that's always a fundamental question that I'll ask them. If they think it's worth so much, then at $400,000, this would be a steal for them. Tell them to come on down. Let's get this thing under contract. And it doesn't happen because they don't do what we do. They don't fucking know what we know. So they could backyard barbecue us all they want. And that term was when I was a lender. I still use it from time to time because the term backyard barbecue is, say for example, I shot out docs on a Thursday or a Friday or something like that, and the interest rate back then was like a 6.5. Well, their buddies over the weekend would be like, oh, well, my guy got me a 5.75. Well, you're 5.75. I mean, do you have a 750 credit score? Because I only got a 620. There's a big difference, Are my debt to income ratios out of whack? Like, they don't think about those things. So the same thing happens when it comes to real estate and listing and selling and buying, etc. So we have to be careful of that. And those people that are telling you that they'll buy your house, they're not going to buy your house. They don't have friends that are going to buy your house. Nobody's going to overpay for something anymore, especially knowing what they know now. And with interest rates climbing up. And interest rates aren't even that fucking bad. They're really not. Even if it hits 7%, so fucking what? If you're renting, go ahead and keep paying 100%. Have fun. But if you're having a conversation about rent versus buy, those are conversations that should be had now. If you're only going to live here for 6 months or a year, why the fuck are you going to buy? Doesn't make sense. Not to me anyway. So it's going to be a little bit more important for agents to have conversations with their clients about why they want to buy or why they want to rent, and stop trying to convert every single renter into a buyer, because that renter may not be staying here. And if you treat that renter correctly, in theory, they'll come back to you when it's time to buy. First thing I ask them is, where they're coming from. Because I want to know who they are. If I'm dealing with somebody from the East Coast, they tend to be a little bit more direct. If they're coming from other parts of the country, like the West Coast, they tend to be a little bit more laid back about things. So I want to get a feel for who they are. And I'm not going to go too in depth on that. But if they tell me that they have a lender, my next question is, who's your lender, and are they an in-state lender? Because agents around here, whether they'll admit it or not, they don't want to deal with out-of-state lenders. Part of the reason is, if your lender cannot get you to the closing table we can't just drive down and go have a conversation with that lender and hold their feet to the fire. You know? So that's an important question, and agents around here, again, don't really take too kindly to out-of-state lenders. And I think that that's part of it, because we've had a lot of deals fall apart, you know, with the Quicken loans and all the other stuff like that. Like, I'm not gonna dog Quicken or anything, but, you know, you call an 800 number and you don't really get the same person every single time. It's frustrating, you know, and if you're in another state, you don't have to answer my call. You know, we had one like that recently. You know, the lender was out of Arizona. Call and call and call, and the motherfucker would not answer the phone. I was this damn close to hopping in my car, because y'all know I like to drive, and pay him a visit. Fortunately, we got it done, and I didn't have to do that. So now, after we get that established, whatever it is, if it's in-state, out-of-state, you know, if they don't, I'm not going to force somebody to use a different lender. Okay, we can't do that. So anybody doing that is doing things the wrong way. So say for example, you're like, Larry, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm willing to take all my chances and all the risks with my out-of-state lender. He knows what he's doing. Fucking fine, don't care. I don't care. Let's go find you a house. Can I talk to him? Can I make sure that they actually did what was necessary for you to be pre-qualified? Will they send me a letter? Will he answer his phone on a Saturday? You know, because I work Saturdays and Sundays too. So, after I get that established and we open the line of communication, now we'll go out and shop for a house. There's a couple things that I do differently than other agents that I'm not going to share. But once I get that established, you know, we go and we start looking at houses. That helps me understand what it is that you want. You know, what style of home you want, what area you want, you know. And from that point, Lord willing, we write an offer and you get the damn house you want. The beauty of this right now, and this is what some agents are not paying attention to or enjoying, is that I don't have to show a house or 3 houses to a client and then they have to pick that day and write an offer and just hope and pray that they're gonna get that house. They can actually look at houses again. You know, they could look at 10, 15, 20 houses and make a choice. Or wait for more shit to hit the market. So it's a beautiful thing. It's gone back to a buyer's market. Sellers don't want to hear that, but you know, you missed your window. For now. Maybe it comes back, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Like I said before, we don't know anything. But right now it's a buyer's market, and it's an opportunity where, you know, a buyer can get, you know, in some instances, closing costs or concessions, things fixed on the house, which for the last 2 years, two plus years, you weren't getting a damn thing fixed on the house, unless it was safety related, you know. So it's a better market. It's a better time for buyers to work with their agents and really work. And some agents are not going to be fans of that because now they have to really fucking put in work. They can't just list a damn house and be like, oh, I'm good, I did my fucking job, I'm gonna go sit on the golf course or whatever the fuck. This is not how it's gonna work now. You're gonna have to get your ass out there and fucking work, you know? And the ones that are willing to work will make it, the ones that aren't, you know, fuck, I mean, people are hiring, you know? Fuck, I remember during COVID, I think, or during the beginning of the year, I think even McDonald's was paying like $20 an hour. I would hope these motherfucking agents, if they're leaving the business, can flip a burger. You know? And fuck, maybe I end up being one of them and I'm talking shit about myself, I don't know. So, but no, I mean, you have to put in the effort, man. I mean, for my 8 years of doing this, I have not averaged anything less than 30 to 40,000 miles per year on my cars. It's a fuck ton of miles. It's a lot of fucking risking my life driving around these shitty streets with these shitty drivers fucking around on their phones all the goddamn time. Sit at a traffic light or just drive and pay attention. See how many people are on their fucking phones. It's disgusting. It's pretty fucking disgusting. The fuck is time off?
Like,
people do that shit?
Let's talk about
people do that shit?
Let's talk about Dave Chappelle's show.
Oh, that was dope.
Okay.
That was fucking epic. So that wasn't time off. That was not time off. That was the motherfucking dopest shit I ever got to see.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle is the fucking GOAT. I don't give a shit. I'll argue with anyone. I've loved that man for over 20 plus years. Not man crush love. That's different. But Dave is the fucking man. And he's fucking phenomenal. The way that he hits his set and the way that he does his flow is just spot on. He keeps the audience engaged the entire time. And yeah, we was in the front row, me and Chevy, and like front fucking row. Like Dave Chappelle put his foot up, smoking cigarettes and shit, ashes flying and landing on us. It was dope. That's how fucking close we were, man. Now, had I been with, I'm thinking this, if I had been with my wife or even somebody else that could have, you know, represented my wife at the time, outside of a dude, you know, fucking, you know, because my wife is black, you know, like, if I have a feeling that he would have said something to us, but she was fucking miserable. She was so sick that day, so she couldn't go. Yeah, hit Chevy up and we went front row on some dope shit. Yeah, it was fucking sick. Fucking sick. But I was hoping that he would talk shit to us in the front row had that been the case. That would have been an epic moment. Either way, it was hands down amazing. So.
In a concert?
Oh, the concert. But see, that shit ain't time off, bro. That's like taking a day to do some shit. It's not really time off. Time off is like the people traveling the world right now, and I vicariously live through them fuckers, you know. No, the concert was dope. It was my daughter's very first concert. I dragged Chevy to that one too. And we got to go backstage at Red Rocks Underground, everything, man. Like just fucking sick. Got to sign our names on the wall, you know, like it was pretty cool. My daughter, you know, after Alexis had won Miss Colorado USA, you know, my youngest daughter wasn't feeling, you know, the greatest. And that was probably the most fun concert I had been to. And I told her that on the way home. And, you know, when I told her, I said, you know, that was probably the most enjoyable, if not most fun concert I'd ever been to in my life. And she turned and she looked and she said, really? And I said, yeah. You know, and she said, I said, do you know why? And she said, no, why? I said, because I got to go with you. And, you know, it just put a big smile on her face, and I knew she needed that moment, you know. My time management is shit.
Okay.
It really is terrible. I do the best that I can, you know, and I started working out and stuff like that too, so that helps clear my head, so it gets some of the jumbled fucking mess out of there. But time management has always been one of my biggest issues. I've gotten better at it, you know, so you don't want to fucking ask me for advice on it. That's for fucking certain. Now, does that mean I'm not going to tell others that they need to get good at it? Yes, but don't follow my fucking lead, you know. I'm not the one to teach you that shit. You don't want to fucking learn from Larry on time management. My skills suck. But I do seem to be able to find enough time to get back to all my agents and all my clients and everybody that I need to within the day to satisfy everyone. And sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late, you know. And the last one I talked about taking phone calls at 10, 11 o'clock, whatever, you know, from clients. I'll do that for my agents and stuff like that too. I try to make sure that I'm there for them. But no, time management, bro, not a good look for me. I don't do that well. I do fit the gym in. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's early afternoon, sometimes nighttime. Sure, I piss people off with my lack of ability to time manage. So no, I'm not good at it, bro. And no, I don't take vacations. I don't do shit. Vicariously live through all my friends and or associates on the face pages. Follow up?
Yeah.
Well, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
Each person has a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
You
That's
know.
why I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, and you know, follow up is a tricky thing because a lot of agents that I've noticed that get into this business from the different career fields that they've held before, follow up is a foreign fucking concept. You know, it's not something that they're used to doing because you have to pick up your phone, you have to call. And it feels like telemarketing, but it's not, you know. Well, I guess we could call it telemarketing. We can. if you have leads, you need to call them. And if you are doing it in a way that is smart, you're going to register or write down what time you called that person. And you don't call them the same time every fucking day if they are not answering at 10 a.m. You pick a different time. So say noon. Or fucking try 8 o'clock at night. You know the cutoff is at 9. Call them at 8. You'll really grab their fucking attention at 8. So that's just what I do. You know, if I need to get a hold of somebody, I just call them at different times throughout the day. You know, calling them at one point or one time in the day. And this shouldn't even be something I have to say. But a lot of people don't want to do it because they don't want to offend somebody. You know, but go through your day and find out how many times somebody offended you in some manner. Just call them, you know, and come up with something to say that's original, that's like, hey, you know, and I don't give a shit who steals this and who uses it. You know, I know this is the millionth phone call that you've received, so let me be 1,000,001 or 1,000,002 or whatever the number is, but, you know, make a joke of it. You know, lighten the mood a little bit once you get them on the phone. And then find out what they want. Listen to them. You know, don't go right into, yeah, so you're looking for a property? Well, yeah, motherfucker, anybody could say that. You want to make a connection with that person. They're human, just like you. Make a connection with them. You know, and if you can't do it, you can't do it. I think if you can't make a connection within the first couple of minutes, you lost them anyway. And you better be in a good fucking mood, or at least pretend to be when you call them, because they'll hear your voice inflection. That's a real thing. It's a real fucking thing. You can fake it in person, as far as you being happy or not. But when you get on the phone, for some reason, people can pick that shit up. So if you're in a shit mood, having a bad day, or if you are desperate, that's the one they pick up on, I think, the most, is desperation. If you're desperate, they're not gonna work with you. There's not. So, but yeah, that's how I do my follow-up. And then follow-up is different when you have, you know, clients. So like right now, clients under contract, you know, I need to do a inspection objection before this evening, and I need to write a counter here in a little bit. To a degree, that's follow-up, you know. And I call, text, email. I'd really rather call instead of text. I hate text because text can be perceived or read in so many different ways that, you know, say I send you a text and you're in a shit fucking mood and you read that text and you're like, fuck Larry, what the fuck is he saying to me right now? When my intention was to send you a nice text or just a simple text. So you never know what the person on the other side is reading that text or what their mindset is. They could take it as a complete slight, and that wasn't what you intended. So VA is a big one here, obviously. I've dealt with, you know, VA is different. VA I take really personally because when somebody gets stationed here or somebody's PCSing here, there's always somebody trying to jump on them and sell them some shit. It's usually a car or some bullshit furniture or whatever. And you know, you can look like, I guarantee you can pull up right now, like all the sales and all the discounts that they'll give to veterans. You know, they want them to sign up for this credit card. To me, it's all predatory. You know, and I take offense to that, and I let them know that. You know, like don't go buy the V6 Challenger that you see when you know, get outside the barracks, because you're going to get a 20% APR and, you know, have a $1,000 a month payment on a car that sucks at altitude. You know, so I don't know. There's a lot of predatory shit that happens in the military community, and I don't like it. But a lot of my clients have been military, and I appreciate everything that they do. There's a lot of people that'll say thank you for your service. I think they just say it to say it. I actually truly do mean it when I say it. And this isn't to say that everybody's that way, but you know, my grandfather served in Korea, Vietnam, and World War II. He died in 1992 from leukemia. My cousin served. I have tons of friends and family that have served. I didn't get to serve because I'm too fucking honest, and When I graduated from high school, I told my recruiter that I had asthma and panic disorder and all that fun shit. So at that time, it was pre 9/11. It's pre 9/11. So I didn't have all the incentives, and I didn't know that I was supposed to lie. And when I've talked to some of my friends who are in the military, they're like, look, man, you have asthma, like the shit that they put you through, like they've seen people die from that. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't go, you know, but that wasn't because I didn't try. I just got shot down. Once I told them that I had those ailments, the recruiter stopped calling. That was basically it, you know. That's pre 9/11. You know, I'm sure that if anybody ever watches these fucking things and gets this far into it, they'll be like, yeah, that sounds about right. The motherfucker, he said that. Yeah, that killed it right then and there, probably. You know, but you know, God has different things for us. I wasn't supposed to go into the military. You know, for a little while I felt cheated that I couldn't go, but you know, I was here for a different purpose. Now my other clients, conventional, FHA gets a bad rap because everybody assumes that FHA, they don't have money. And that's stupid. You know, their money's just as good as somebody with a conventional loan. You know, CHAFA deals. Like, hey man, these are first time homebuyer programs. Why not utilize them? Why not? Do it. They used to have what was called El Paso County Bond. El Paso County Bond was a down payment assistance program too. I think that shit died shortly after I bought my house back in the day, which I subsequently lost, but whatever. So every single one of them is different, even though the goal is the same. They want to own a house. They want to own a house. All of them they want to own a house, and some of them for different reasons. And it's our job to figure out what that reason is, where they want to live, and what they want to do. Maybe they want to buy it to turn it into a rental. Now, right now, it's maybe not the best idea unless you get a really fucking good deal. But yeah, they're all different, even though they have the same goal. And every last one of them has that like nervous, almost, I don't want to say anxious. It's like good anxiety, like happy anxiety, like adrenaline. In a way, they're terrified, but they're excited, you know, especially if it's their first time. Shit, even if it's their third or fourth time, you know. Some of the clients that I've had that ask me the most questions are on like their fourth house or fifth house. So you don't know, you know, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know, you reach your hand in, pull out a ticket, and you're like, all right, this is the type of person I'm working with. That's some. I don't even want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. I had one lady fucking call me a racist. I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, I must be really good at hiding that shit then. You know, for 18 years, been with my wife, raising black children and shit. Like, fucking KKK must be really goddamn proud of me for infiltrating this family. You know, the fuck out of here. You know, that was the funniest shit I ever heard, but also the most. Like, that was like one of the most. I felt attacked by this bitch, you know. I really did. What the fuck are you gonna call me racist when I got you the house that you wanted, in the manner that you wanted? But what I learned was that she was just a hateful person anyway. She just wanted to dominate the situation in its entirety, and that's fine. I mean, you run into stuff like that, but you will run into some ridiculous shit. You'll run into some ridiculous shit, and there's a lot more victims out there than some people want to think. You know, and you have to work with them too. They will blame you for everything. It's all your fucking fault. All your fucking fault. And that's scary too, because when somebody's blaming you the entire fucking time, you just want to fire them. And I have fired clients. That is one of the things that, yeah, it's you feel like this elephant just got the fuck off your shoulders. You threw that fucking asshole off you. You know, I don't fire many. I've been fired by clients too, and sometimes that's a gift too. You know, but no, that's fucking people. It's wild, man. I write, actually. I write. I have a book that I'm writing, which is turning kind of more into a journal. That helps me kind of get my mind right, you know, because now I can go back and be like, all right, in this situation, and this happened, and that happened, you know, how did I feel? How did I react? How did I respond? And if it wasn't favorably, hopefully I'm learning from that, you know. But if I'm in a good mood, I'm jamming out to some fucking Slipknot or some shit, or I've been listening to a lot of lately some. Not like old school hip hop, but like Scarface. I love Scarface. Always love Scarface. Probably one of the realest hip hop / rappers on the planet, in my opinion. My brother in Tennessee, he's a rapper. I listen to his music from time to time just to kind of reminisce about things, because we, you know, I mean, fuck, man. Some of the recordings on there on Spotify he did in my basement. It's fucking dope. So. But I listen to everything but country, man. And some people are gonna hate me for saying that, but country I just couldn't really ever get into, man. Like, that shit doesn't amp me up. It just, you know, I think of like a fucking kegger and like people wearing straw hats and fucking throwing shit around the backyard, you know. And they might be cooking some shit, but they're probably just getting drunk. I don't fucking know, you know. And look, that's obviously a funny take on it, but country's really just not my thing. Never has been. There's a few country songs, you know, like Dirt Road Anthem. I like that shit. I like it. Of course, Luda's in there, you know, so kind of adds to it in the end. But R&B, man. Love me some R&B. And only the old hats are gonna understand this one, but like Mint Condition, man, like I swear on everything that good fucking R&B died in like the early 2000s. All the other shit that came after, like you'll get some random hits here and there, you know, some Bruno Mars's, etc. Weeknd, you know, I like some of his stuff. But the real fucking R&B, I swear, just died the fuck out. Like when they sang with purpose, they had a real story, something they were trying to tell you, you know.
Crying in the shower songs.
You know, no, but like they fucking hit you, man. They hit you. Like they hit you in a way where you're like, fuck, I feel that. You know?
Like the corner in the shower songs.
Hey, you know, fuck it, man. I mean, you know, whatever. The corner of the shower, wherever you gotta listen to shit in the car, you know? Like maybe you just got in an argument with somebody and you listening to some Trey songs like Heart Attack. That motherfucking song is dope, by the way, you know? And if you've never heard it, listen to that shit. Shit is dope. But, I mean, you got Dave Hollister. You know, man, some of these people that'll ever listen to this don't even know who the fuck Dave Hollister is. He's soulful as fuck, man. Soulful as fuck. And there's gonna be a lot that I forget, but like, if Mint Condition came out here, bro, I'm at that concert. Hands down. Them boys, man, was something else. Something else. But yeah, I would say rock, and, you know, classic rock. Like I love my Pink Floyd. I would love to have seen them live. God, what the fuck I would give to see Pink Floyd live. You know, so yeah, my classic rock to my, you know, more, I don't want to call it progressive rock, but newer age kind of, you know, hype metal shit, R&B, hip hop, rap. Like hip hop to me is more lyrical. Rap is more like, I'm gonna fuck you up and you're gonna pop pills and shit. You know, that shit to me is kind of whack. Where like when I grew up, people didn't talk about, they talked about selling drugs, not fucking doing drugs. You know, like you can't get money if you fucking slurring your speech, bro. Like, what the fuck is you thinking right now? You know, fuck it. You know, you change with the times. Somebody's gonna call me a boomer and shit. So I'd rather not be called that. But I like the real shit. Jeezy, that motherfucker, he's real as fuck. You know, I fucks with Jeezy all the time. But yeah, man, I got fucking hours and hours and hours of content. Some shit gets me hyped up and some shit just catches me when I'm in my feelings. You know, sometimes you need both. So, you know, fucking just go out there and keep doing what you know you can do. Yes, the market's changing. Yes, things are different. But if you still put the effort in that you did working for somebody else, you will still win at this business. Because not everybody hearing this message is willing to do that anyway. No matter who I give that message to. If you're willing to work 40 hours a week at some job paying you 19 bucks an hour, but you're not willing to work 40 hours a week for your own business or more, when you could make quadruple the fucking money or 5 times the money, maybe your priorities ain't right. Maybe your head ain't right. Maybe you do need somebody standing over you telling you what to do. But I would just say keep your head down and keep going, because these buyers and for any client that hears this, or any buyer that hears this is not meant to be a negative, but those buyers, if you treat them right and you take care of them, when it comes time for them to sell, they become your sellers later. So take care of your buyers. Take care of them really fucking good. That's my message. That's my shit. Go out there and keep fucking kicking ass. You know? I don't mean, you know, violently. Just go do your fucking job and be grateful that you're in a profession where you can literally make fucking money that drug dealers make. Legally. You know what I mean? That's real life.
Cool. That's good.
If you are what you say